Come on in, get comfortable. Okay, being 6 o'clock Ayer Planning Board time in the town of Ayer. March 2nd, 2017, I opened the session of the Ayer Planning Board, and first order of business, call to order for approval of the agenda. And I have a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Second. For discussion, I would add that the A&R for Littleton Road, Perry Curley, is going to move to April based on late notification of information. By late, I mean we just recently got that the applicant could not be here, so we'll move that to April. And there was going to be a discussion of another matter which didn't materialize, so it's not on the agenda, and we're good to go, I do believe. I do expect Sue Kennedy to come in any minute. Sometimes our members, most of us work, and they may show up any minute, but and if they do, then Sue will still be able to present her update on the marijuana issue before the town. And of course, we'll pay our bills. So with that, motion to approve the agenda. Well, speak of Sue Kennedy,
Sue.
here she comes. How
Move
about
to
that?
approve the agenda.
Timing is everything, Sue.
Move to approve the agenda with changes mentioned.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Normally, we would have had public input after some general business, but I understand through staff and through the public, which is in the room and have signed in for this matter, there is some discussion to be had. I'll call it a blanket issue of Air Solar, given that Air Solar 1 was an issue which was previously before the board in February and March of 2016. It got approved. So for this particular meeting, I dare say Air Solar 1 is a closed and done deal. We may be able to answer some minor questions, but as far as the planning board and the requirements of the town as regards Air Solar 1, everything was done according to Hoyle, so to speak. And do I see a representative of Air Solar in the room anywhere? No, not yet. But again, this is more toward, from what I understand, kind of a public process of public input. Now, also to the discussion, it's important to know before we be open discussion on the matter that Air Solar 2 is not really an issue before us right now. Air Solar 2 was going to come in and say, this is what we want to do going forward, what do you think? There'll be no actionable documents before the planning board much before April or May, probably May, given that once we receive a plan, which we don't have right now, and I will up front apologize for the March 2nd indication in the newspaper that said there was going to be a public hearing on the matter, because we expected plans to come in. And unfortunately, they didn't. So that is a risk we're not going to ever take again, because the fact is we shouldn't have run the ad without having plans in hand. And the plans didn't come in, so that makes us look kind of silly when someone comes in looking for plans that we don't have.
Can I ask a question, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
We received the application from the applicant on February 10th, and they haven't given us plans yet.
Right. And that's, it was all done in good faith to say, okay, let's get this going. We'll get you in, get you out, because quite candidly, without getting off on a tangent,
okay,
one of the reasons I'm back on the board from 18 or so years ago, as many of you may know, and now we have a full board. Mark will be here in a minute, I'm sure. But anyway, now we have a full board. We've got a little bit of catching up to do on some administrative things. And one of them is the review of our in-house procedures and our subdivision bylaws, which we have set a goal as a board to get that all done by the end of the year, and have a warrant article before the town hall as regards subdivision by the fall town meeting. And in-house, we do our own in-house vote and approval as a board. We expect to get that done within about 6 months from now. And that's an ongoing process. So, having said all of that, where we see any improvements to be made on our in-house processes, we will definitely make them. And by the way, I invite you to attend our seminars, which are also posted as a working group meeting of the planning board. I invite you to attend those as well for input. And up front, I want to say thank you for coming and showing interest on what we're doing here for the Ayer Planning Board. So having said that, I understand Ken had some material. He had to go home and get it. I understood him to be your spokesman, and I wanted to invite him to the table to frame the issue on your behalf. If you want to wait for him, I will certainly do that, and the board will just move on to other business. Anyone other than Ken? You want to wait for Ken to bring his stuff?
Yes, we have to.
There must be two groups. What group are you, what street are you?
Because, yeah, he was going to bring some material and then present it to the board as to what the group's issues were. So I think it'd be good to wait for him if we could.
Yeah.
Okay, with your indulgence, then I'd like to move on to get some business of the board done while we wait for Ken Diskin. Is that acceptable?
Yep.
Good. Okay. Then do we have the A&R for Wright Road?
Yes.
Okay. Could you come up, please, and make your presentation?
Sure. My name is Kevin Conover. I'm from David Ross Associates,
Okay.
and we're proposing a 3-lot A&R plan on Wright Road. I think that everybody has received copies of these plans, and I just have one highlighted just for presentation. The property is situated on the southerly side of Wright Road. It's showing 3 lots. All the lots have frontage and area requirements by the district and especially the A2 district.
Yep.
Wright Road is a public way. We're seeking endorsement under the approval not required statute.
Okay. And you have the frontage, I take it?
That's correct.
Okay. Have you made arrangements for water and sewer?
There is water and sewer on this property, yes, on the street.
Okay. Questions by the board, if any? Okay. Any comments other than I need a motion to approve the A&R as presented?
Motion to approve the A&R as presented.
Second.
Discussion? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None? Unanimous.
The only thing I ask is we noticed there was a scrivener's error on the plan, so that the Mylar that was submitted, which has an incorrect total along the frontage. I was wondering if you guys can endorse the correct.
Well, I need to sign a correct document, so
Well, this is the
you're asking me.
Well, the Mylar that we submitted last week just has an incorrect total on the street.
Oh, I need the one that you want me to sign tonight. Is
That's
that
just
correct?
yeah.
So that means
Okay,
we
so let's-
have no copies then?
Huh?
We have no copies of correct
There's
frontage?
7 copies here, and I also have the reduced copies as
Yeah,
well.
so if you give Sandy our copies, and then if we could all sign the Mylar, and
And
then
I'll
we'll
just
move on to...
take these back. Sure. And you sign the
I'm
copies.
colorblind, so you're gonna give me the right pen.
And you sign the copies at the end of the meeting. Right? You don't sign one right now.
What, you sign them right now?
All of them? Okay.
Why would they have you come back? Seems to be a waste of time.
See what I'm saying, Jim?
You good?
Just had the wrong total on the plan. Right here.
So now I have to do what's here. March 2nd?
They want to know his name. That's my problem.
These are the copies to sign.
These are the copies to sign.
Yeah.
These are reduced
Yeah.
copies as well.
we need.
And rope burn, well, that's some of the others right that are, there's a thin end on both of, all of those markers.
Can't write fast with this.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what Good, go for it. Did you read yours? So not fair.
Something about the making of walls.
I guess I should have used my head.
You can use whatever you want.
Strong.
It's funny, someone recently signed a document on my behalf, on my request, and it was out. It came back from the county.
Oh, really?
Early initially. Believe it or not. Also, they don't trust things that come to them from me down in pencil. Permission to use
Is
pencil
that a mustache now?
because they it's permanent. All financials in pencil.
Oh, wow, yeah.
They all get out their white out. So what juice you gonna make your own apple?
Damn.
Good.
That is.
My
I don't know if I'll have a chance to do it by my mom and getting ready to go to Wales again.
Tough job, but somebody's gonna do it, you know?
you know, they say the things you should never see. One of them is the making of laws.
Going to when it starts coming back here.
Okay, I'll forward them all over there to you. So it'll be easier. So we
Have
can
you-
pick up a corner.
Just have him start coming right back here.
Yeah.
Then he can have them up.
Once again, Jim's the problem.
Yeah, well, I don't get the corner percent.
Okay, go.
I know it.
Just stop it. I'm sorry. We just stop it.
Yep.
You still
Is it another lefty or did you know? Is it another lefty or did you know?
It's like, and
Oh, I know it, yeah. yeah.
I think he finally got a certified poplar from you.
Take this too, 'cause that's not going anywhere.
For a living. So I had that conversation. So she's lined up to build her for August. All he gets to do with Barney is she's got this. I'm sorry. I didn't
Don't see cows.
It's a second person.
Just got one more after that. That usually goes to them, right? The Mylar one. Not one who signed it. The Mylar goes back to them, right?
What's that? Yes, Mylar goes back to
In one copy.
Yeah, they get the Mylar.
They get them. On A&Rs, they do.
registers with the deed to the registry of deeds.
She's I guess if I'm doing work in the house, who gets these?
We do.
So what is this mom stop working? In the morning, I was watching this.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yes, indeed. As you can see, government still moves a bit slowly, but that's okay. I saw Ken come back in. Where did he go? Oh, there you are. Okay.
So, the meeting, have you opened the meeting or not?
Well, I did, yeah. I mean, you were not in the room.
Okay.
I've asked the group to understand how the matter is confined, if you will, on discussion to Air Solar 1, given that Air Solar 2 has no real impact yet until they submit a formal plan, and that probably won't happen until May. So
The newspaper article was regarding the meeting.
I realize, and I openly, as I did to you earlier, I apologize for that because that was a mistake. That's a mistake the town won't make again, given that we made a public announcement about a plan we didn't actually have in our hand, and it never did come in. So,
Well, one plan came in.
but not
the full
something
set.
we can act on.
Right. Okay, so.
Yeah.
The reason I didn't want you to open the meeting at all on Air Solar 2 was because not only is there.
Well, I haven't. I mean,
Okay.
I've just opened the meeting. I mean, Air Solar 2 is actually
No.
not on the agenda per se. What is on the agenda is a public input session for what clearly is some issues of Air Solar 1 and 2 that need to be addressed from a townwide perspective. In that regard, anything the planning board can't answer tonight, Mr. Pontbrand has graciously agreed to attend, and will redirect the group to wherever you need to go to get the right answers for what we can't answer tonight in a satisfactory
Can I
manner.
run this on that mouse if I bring my own?
Yeah, by all means.
I just don't know if I get to the file first.
It's no secret we're trying to get Ken on the planning board. So.
And just for the record, I'm Mark Smith, and I live on Douglas Drive, and I'm here to talk about the solar side.
About the what?
Solar One side.
Yes, well, again, however, does Ken speak to that as well?
We don't know.
I wasn't going to.
Okay, could I ask you then, you want to address your Air Solar 1 questions?
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Absolutely. It might even help him.
Okay,
So I'm Mark Smith. I live at 23 Douglas Drive,
yeah, pull up a chair.
which is at the end of the cul-de-sac.
Yep,
I don't know the exact dates of these letters, but I signed for 2 certified letters
right,
that were sent to my address. I came to the post office, picked them up, read them, and they talked about Rosewood Avenue,
right,
the extension on Rosewood Avenue.
right. Well, that's how it was presented at the time.
Okay?
Yep.
So I drove down to Rosewood Avenue and went, okay, I don't see how this has to do anything with me or my property.
I can help him with that.
Okay?
Well,
So I filed them because this is what the town sent me. It wasn't until, 2 or 3 weeks ago that there were some gentlemen up there behind our property putting in stakes,
Right.
running the
Still fence.
fences.
Still fence.
Right.
Exactly, right? And so, to me, that's, okay, that's the power lines property, they can do what they want. Then all of a sudden, they're cutting down trees, and before I know it, all the trees are gone.
right,
That's when I find out that they're putting a solar farm in there. So
Okay.
within the month, I found out that they're putting a solar farm. Not a year ago.
well,
No.
again, we,
So,
okay.
you're saying it's a done deal. We kind of, to some extent, concede that it is a done deal.
right.
We're kind of
Anyway,
miffed at the way it happened and the extent that it happened.
Okay.
Because I heard the gentleman mention about walking that property, but you didn't come down to my property and walk my property before and now after. Because if you would have, you can see a vast difference. I could not see any light over the horizon from my backyard.
Right.
Now, it's open. I see power lines, I see everything.
Did you?
I'm
Okay.
going to see the back of those panels, as will other neighbors.
Okay. Did you see the notice in the paper that indicated that on that site was going to be a photovoltaic development of, okay.
No.
That was published in the paper. Now, what I mean by a done deal was that the town did everything it was supposed to do. The fact that they called it Rosewood Extension was just a name on a piece of paper. The announcement indicated what was going to happen at Rosewood Avenue Extension in terms of the announcement in the paper. And then the public hearings that were conducted also addressed that whole issue. Now, those that didn't find out about it, I didn't come
But
to the
how-
board
how would
formally
I-
until
but-
May, but I can only tell you that we announced it as due course and due notice, and
So I guess my point is,
Yeah.
is if I was getting a notice about a Rosewood extension,
yeah,
has nothing on there about a solar farm, and I live, at however many feet or acres that is away from there, why wouldn't I get notified about those other issues coming up too? I mean, personally, like to our addresses.
Because you're in a butter.
I got clarification on that. The Rosewood project, as is the potential project that might come up later on, was broken into two parts. The portion of the project that sat at the end of Rosewood went in on a notice of intent with conservation. That's when you got notified.
right.
The balance of the job, which was beyond the other side of the power lines, came to you guys because it didn't require wetlands, WPA, approval. It was without
Right.
outside the buffer zone. So it was confusing because the abutters to the project got the wetlands notifications, as I did, and I'll talk about it later. But you didn't get notification on the planning board side of it because it wasn't required. Planning board does not have to notify the abutters because they can waive that. It just doesn't exist. So that's what happened. That's why you got the two announcements for the conservation pieces, but you didn't get planning board notifications later.
Okay,
You would have had to be on the top of your game to know that, believe me.
Well, yeah, if I might add too, that the beginning of the process, it was handled by 2 or 3 different, quote, if you will, names of the same applicant. I mean, we have Calco involved, we have Air Solo involved, we have Prometheus Power Group involved. I mean, at some point, you really had to be a chess player to follow all the players. But again, as regards the property and as regards the planning board, what basically was, by the time I came to the board in May, it was already a done deal as to a driveway to access their property. Timing is everything in life. It's the White House, no, I'm kidding.
Your mission.
But again, throughout the process of the changing players, whether it was Rosewood Ave Extension because it was Wood's property, as in Rosewood, or whether it was Calco, or whether it was Prometheus Power Group, or the same thing applied for the,
You can open line, just hang up.
excuse me, I have to keep that on for family. The same thing applied regardless, but that for the planning board, it was simply asking for curb cut to the property they just purchased. And a driveway and access to same. Now, everything else after that happens in conservation and or other departments, but still, within the confines of what the planning board had to do for Air Solar 1, as we now know it, we've done everything we can. We notified everyone, we ran the ad properly.
And so when you say...
Maybe I think going forward within our subdivision and or our upgrades of our own in-house procedure, we hope not to have this happen again. To my knowledge, it hasn't happened before, where abutters get notified and they know what's going on, and this time the abutters notices went out, and yet a year or 2 years later, we find out that not everybody knew exactly what we were getting when we got what we got.
So then, since they haven't started any work, and you have plans, can plans be altered?
Well,
Because-
not by the planning board per se, because
Then
they're
who-
doing what a landowner is permitted to do within the confines of the law. I can't go back and say, hey, wait a minute, you can't do that, because, landowners, and I've been in land court before, they get to do pretty much as of right. And it's generally my understanding, in particular to solar energy, that as of right doesn't and can apply here. Now, how they get the road in or how they get the access in or what, because we gave clear indication at the time, we being the planning board, there was never gonna be any structures. So, other than the solar panels. So you're not gonna see a whole bunch of buildings going up and other things. But again, anything outside the planning board, if another question comes up, I'll defer to town administrator and the rest of the departments.
So,
Try and point you in the right direction.
So even though we can see that the solar farm is going in, there's nothing we can do about how close it is
Not,
in other words, we've seen the plans and they can't take out one or two
yeah,
rows.
not
of-
outside established boundaries, given conservation rules and wetlands protections and a butter side and setbacks and such. We can take a real, as we will, again, I indicated at the open of the meeting, we're going through this year on our subdivision control regulations, of which, by the way, this was classified as a subdivision process. If we feel that as regards solar farms, that we need a better or more advantageous setback given residents, then we'll take a look at that. But right now, it's all according to established allowable procedures and rules and regulations.
You have any questions?
I'd like to know which newspaper it was published in.
It was in, I believe, the Lowell Sun and the Public Spirit. We published in two publications.
Do you know which section of the paper?
I think it was called the Neshoba Valley at that time, actually. What used to be the Public Spirit.
The Neshoba Voice.
Neshoba Voice, okay.
Neshoba Valley Voice, or whatever it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any questions I should be
Again, I
asking?
was around when it was Turner Publications.
I have a question, I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
this was, it happened before I was on, and I
Right.
tried to look some stuff up, and I'm a little confused about what I'm hearing, and what, I'm curious as to what it was the planning board was asked to approve. Was it the roads? And with the subdivision, what's going to
It
be
was
different? Because what I'm
basically
hearing,
an access to
his
the
main
property.
complaint is clearing of trees.
Right here, so if
So, Mr. Chair, if I
Yeah,
may.
please.
So, this is from my memory.
Okay.
So probably fallible. The project came to us as two separate parts. Access into, at the end of Rosewood Ave, there was a section of the road, I believe it was around 50 or 60 feet wide. They required a 100-foot frontage. So there was a request through the subdivision bylaw, I believe, to allow for an arc that would give, I think, 110 feet of frontage at the end of Rosewood. Clearly stated
For
at
a
that.
road.
For a road. No, not for a road, excuse me. Clearly stated at that point for access through to Cowfields in the back. It came as two because without one, the other one wouldn't fly. And the subdivision had to be, they needed a subdivision approval for that. So that was granted. Along the way, we had a fairly energetic meeting with a bunch of the abutters about the water level in the back, the culvert that was going to get repaired. Talked to the town about some sewer easements that are in there, about the beavers and stuff. So it was fairly active. So that was done. There are, if my memory serves, there are no utilities allowed along that road, or I should call it a driveway. It was presented to us as a driveway. It's an access road to go back in there, and it was presented to us that a four-wheel drive vehicle would be the thing that goes in there on a weekly basis. So that's what we acted upon, to allow that arc to exist. Second to that was the presentation of the plans for, well, I guess we're calling it Ayer Solar 1 now. What was the name of it back then?
What's that?
That's correct. It's Ayer Solar.
That was the name at the beginning, Cal?
I think so.
Ayer Solar 1. It had, you know, in all honesty, I feel like it has changed a great deal. But anyway, so Cal brought it forward to us as that. And to Jim's point, solar up to a certain point kind of is like a church in Massachusetts. It's a state statute. There's not a lot you can do about it. It's very distressing, but it's also land owned by a private landowner, and it's within his. My understanding is within his right to do what he's done. So I'm going to stop there, but I think that probably.
As a process,
Then-
we treated it
then-
as a
Yeah.
site plan review,
Yeah.
basically.
So this is roadway.
Yeah.
This is the power line. This is a hill. This and so it comes up and then it flattens off. This is my property, my neighbor's property. Those ladies live right
You're
here.
on Douglas Road, correct?
Correct, on
Yeah.
Douglas Road. So Douglas Road is right here.
Yeah.
So this is right to the top of the hill, and this was all woods over here to the power line. And now it's all cut down to right there, to the top of the hill. Okay, and so, okay, I get it, it's a done deal, but why do you have to have this row of power, I mean, however, I don't know how many acres it is, 30 some odd acres. Why do you need this row? Why do you need these extensions, you could have drawn that line like this and left those trees there so that, okay, I don't see the back of, and you'd still, how many is that, really? And so I have another question because you talk about measuring. The offset has to be X number of feet from James Brook, correct?
That's correct.
I'd like to know how they measured that. Because if they measured it on the ground, that is a different distance than they would have measured it if they measured it at a line of sight from James Brook.
Yeah. Well, I do know that SO2 is coming up, bubbling up, if you will, and the same rules are going to apply as regards Conservation Commission. So rather than shoot from the hip, I'd rather have Brian, our man from Conservation, answer those questions specifically. Off the top of my head, I don't know what the
because
distance is.
if the offset was measured on the ground,
Well, let me put it this way.
it would have given them more. How do I say it's less distance?
It would be closer to your property line.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Unless instead of
So in other
drawing
words, over the undulations of the ground as opposed to go up 20 feet off the ground in a line of sight type thing.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
Just trying to understand what you're saying, yeah.
exactly. And so
There are other questions outside this planning board that are going to come to bear on Air Solar 2, so I would ask again to watch for Conservation Commission meetings on this matter and/or building issues that may come up. I do know, I think, and the Board of Selectmen, for example, a 61A question may come up in this arena as well, which means that the Board of Selectmen have to give up the right of first refusal on the property for them to do anything. So there's a whole lot more to play out here over the coming months, not only from the planning board, but from the rest of the town. Robert?
Mr. Chairman and members of the planning board, through you, I think, Mr. Smith, it's nice to meet you. I did get your email, and I know Ms. Sherwin and some of the other folks from Solar One are here. And first of all, regardless of what anyone's opinion is of the project, you can sympathize with folks who are not happy about the project. I think, Mr. Chairman, as you mentioned at the beginning on Solar One, that it was private property, and that the folks that developed it did go through the proper process. And after Ms. Sherwin came to see me and other folks, I did convene through your office, Sandy, the assessor, the building commissions, so forth on Solar One to do a review of the whole application. And this doesn't solve the problem or is not going to appease the folks that are concerned about the trees and so forth, as you mentioned, and we can sympathize with that. But legally, the planning board, as you mentioned in your opening remarks, in the town did follow, as far as Solar One, all of the procedural requirements. And I think, as you said, Mr. Chairman, in the beginning, and Ms. Bean and I talked about that earlier, I think it's encouraging moving forward, it doesn't do on this, that the issue of further notification of the abutters, though not required, as Mr. Diskin also mentioned, I think as a practice, which is the purview of the planning board, moving forward, should adopt that respectfully.
Right.
That being
I wasn't
said,
going to mention that till I got to Solar 2.
Right.
Go ahead.
but on Solar One, in looking at it, and again, these notices, they're legal, they're often in the paper very small and so forth. I mean, everything was met. And the concerns, and I've heard from many folks on Douglas Drive and so forth, the concerns about the trees being removed. That being said, in talking to the building commissioner, and again, I don't believe we have any legal standing on this per se, but I think as a good faith gesture with the developer, perhaps through the planning board or when I speak to the Board of Selectmen, in looking at the properties that abut, including Mr. Smith's and so forth, we were thinking perhaps a request could be made in terms of the positioning of some of those panels. I'm sure that all of those panels are required as part of the array. I'm not the engineer, and I can't make any promises, and this is sort of more of a good faith thing, but I think that if they would be willing with the town to consider, through my staff, perhaps what can we do, if anything? Now, they can legally say no, but I think it can't hurt to ask on that piece of it.
Right.
Also, I think to Mr. Smith's point that he made, I would be interested as well as to how, and through conservation, I can talk to him, how they measured the James Brook, because I think the gentleman makes a good point, depending on the methodology used and so forth. And this isn't to throw, I understand what you're saying, that Solar One is moving forward. Some folks are not happy about that, but I think in light of that, it can't hurt. We've done this before, and there's no promises on this, but that the town could talk to the developer about some of the concerns, specifically on the placement of those panels and so forth near the property line. So I do offer that. I have advised the Board of Selectmen of the situation as well, and we want to try to work on that. With that being said, however, and town council has looked at it too, as far as the planning board and the procedures and the notifications and so forth, everything was done legally correct.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Robert. Mr. Smith, any further questions?
Could I mention?
Sandy?
I just want to mention to everybody that Ayer has a terrific website at ayer.ma.us, and all of the planning board agendas, the minutes from the meetings, and videos of the meetings are available on that website.
Anything further, Mr. Smith? I'd like to move on to
No, sir.
Ken, if you would. You're up next. You got your,
I don't know if I can use this or not. I'm not sure if I can use it or not. Because I can't see the screen from here.
You want to tell us what we're looking at?
Well, I'd like to start off by making a small statement, and that
Okay.
is that I think the meeting is, cannot be opened because the legal notice is not correct. The notice.
We didn't open any public hearing on
Okay,
that.
so we have no meeting right now. We're just talking off the top.
Right, this is a discussion between a public input group.
Well,
and
okay,
the
so just for a
planning
matter of information, I've spent a lot of time working on this since I was notified as an abutter for the lots 13-1 and 13-2, which are owned by the Wilders.
board. Okay.
And when I saw $50,000 or $60,000 worth of engineering being spent along the
So
side.
you're
of my
on
house.
Douglas Drive as
Yes,
well?
I'm going to talk first because I'm not sure if I can run that thing.
I believe, Mr. Dixon, you live on Washington Street?
I live in 180 Washington Street, so I'm
Oh,
on
okay.
so I can't see the titles from here, unfortunately. If I get closer.
Okay.
But I'll
Maybe
make
if
a
you
point.
mention
The point of the
titles,
fact
I
is
can
that when the Riley Jane subdivision was done, the planning board public notice indicated that there was map 12, lot 1, which was included in Riley Jane, and our notice included the same reference with 12-1 and 13-1 and 13-2 for the paper.
Mhm.
The research that I've done shows that, in fact, the property is not property 12-1, but it's property 439. The question is, the location in question, and I believe the topic of the discussion should be property 439, 13-1, and 13-2. So based on that, I think we have a problem with the legal notice, and even talking about.
Are we talking about?
The legal
Ayer
notice,
Solar 2?
are we talking
Talking
about?
about Ayer Solar 2.
Okay.
So,
We haven't seen any plans for Ayer Solar 2. so-
well, I can show you, that if I can get the drawing up for the Riley Jane
Again,
Farm.
I conceded earlier in the opening
Want
statement
me to
that
find it
the
for you?
fact we put out a notice on a public hearing for Air Solar 2 was a mistake to begin with, because we
Okay.
didn't have the plans in hand. Again, that won't happen again, so.
So then we're not gonna go anywhere tonight, we're all done.
You what?
We're done then?
No, I mean, yeah, because again, until we get a plan in hand, I can't discuss what they're going to do, because I don't know what they're going to do. We do have, I believe, March 27th is the date. If we don't have plans by then, we won't see them
35
until
days.
probably May or June.
They're right here.
All right.
So, once we get the plans, again, a plan, the clock starts ticking when the plan is stamped in by the town clerk as received officially
Complete.
complete. And then it goes about the town's machinations of planning board and building and so forth and so on. And so right now, we have nothing to act on. And the applicants know that.
Right here.
Mr. Chairman, may I speak?
Yep,
For the record, my name is Cal Goldsmith. I'm the civil engineer for the project.
right.
You're absolutely correct. We didn't get the plans in on time. That was our fault. I apologize for that. And we understand that we'll be going to the next meeting and that there's no action
Right.
taken tonight. We're here because we offered to give the board a quick run through of the project as we're here, not as part of the public hearing, just on an information.
Well, again,
basis.
that's exactly what we said overview on the agenda.
Right.
So,
So we're willing to do that if you'd like us to, or if you'd
well, we
rather-
would, but I think for the people in the room, it'll certainly answer questions. Robert?
Mr. Chairman, through you and the planning board, I appreciate the point that you, to be clear, it's absolutely right. The clock on Solar 2, the legal clock, as you said,
Right.
has not begun because there's not a formal application and
Right.
so forth. So obviously, as you've already stated, the ad, whether right or wrong, shouldn't have been put in the
Right.
paper because we don't have the plans.
Right.
However, if I may, and through you,
Yep.
as Mr. Diskin also came to see me, in addition to when we get the complete application, there is a potential concern in the ad that was ran, a substantive concern on the map and lot that it refers to, and Mr. Diskin could, if he
Yes,
chooses
that's
to,
been noted, and we'll make sure
noted,
that
he
gets
can
corrected.
speak to that, but there is something respectfully that through Sandy, that when the planning board does get to do that ad, we have to correct that ad, because the ad as it ran,
Right.
we're waiting for confirmation from town council, was deficient based on the parcels that were put in there.
Right, I'm aware of that.
Okay, I'm just,
Yep.
you're aware of that?
Yep.
Okay.
And again, the overview, we ran a little bit over, but that's okay. I mean, you're talking, what, a 10 or 15-minute
Yeah.
overview? And okay, if you could, if it's okay with the folks in the room, come on down, Cal, please. Keeping in mind, we've got nothing to look at, we've got ears to listen with.
Sandy, do you have the ability to put it up? Yes. We may have a little something to look at. I'm actually going to use this as an
And I think Cal's taking good notes, because you've already mentioned some things.
Some what?
No, I'm looking at the group.
Oh,
I know you've heard everything that
we most certainly did. So this is a large scale plan. That's the smaller scale plan that I'll talk to next. But to start with, this is the larger scale plan of the area in general. And we are,
Yep.
this is Washington Street, this is Madigan Lane, the hospital's up here, the high school's down here, the transfer station's over here. This power line easement running right through the middle in this area. This is the Riley Jane Farm subdivision. This is lot 10 of the Riley Jane Farm subdivision. This is our frontage for the Ayer Solar 1. Okay, it's from this subdivision.
Air Solar 2.
I'm sorry,
Cal,
2.
Cal, don't do that to
I don't
me.
want to confuse, I'm sorry. This is our frontage for Ayer
Not
Solar
the
2.
first sentence, okay?
Yeah, right, I'm trying to.
We're east of the trail.
We're just getting warmed up, we're just getting warmed up. So this is lot 10 in the Riley Jane subdivision.
Let me interject a moment. You had your hand up?
Mr. Chair, and I'm not trying to interrupt your
Sure.
flow. Mr. Chairman, therein lies, and again, I would defer to Mr. Diskin, not trying to interrupt the flow. Therein lies one of the concerns about the confusion over the map and lot.
What?
Correct.
Just go through the chair.
The drawings of the Riley Farm subdivision show your lot 10.
Yeah.
That's the end of the former lot 12-1. And your drawings indicate the next piece where the proposed solar 2 goes is location 4-39.
That's what we'll look at.
Right, so your frontage, you're gonna change that to one long frontage, is what you're saying, basically.
Yeah, we're gonna, erase that lot line.
Okay.
So this will all be one lot. So we've got some, I don't know how many acres of land that is, but it's a bunch. And that gives us our frontage for this property here. And this is the site right here of Ayer Solar 2. And then
Now,
access is a different
If I
issue.
might, just because I can, the road that is going up there, this whole project is dependent upon that road, correct?
This driveway. It's not a road, it doesn't create frontage.
Right.
It's a driveway, yes.
But if you don't overcome some of the other issues, wetlands and/or,
Oh, of course. Yeah, we have, we'll be filing a notice of intent
right,
with the Conservation Commission. We've already done an ANRAD, and you can
right.
see it on that for these two
I
parts.
mention that because I think these folks may want to attend those meetings
Oh,
when
absolutely,
they
sure.
occur.
They'll be advertised and they'll be notified as well.
That driveway already exists. Call it
Yeah, I'm sorry?
That driveway already exists, doesn't it?
This
Just
driveway is a cart path.
Yeah, but there's a cut in the guardrail there already?
There is.
Okay, yeah.
There's a cut in the guardrail already. This is a cart path, obviously it'll be improved considerably from what it is. And this parcel and this parcel are the two Wilder properties
Mhm.
that are under agreement. We have control of those two properties. There'll be an easement across them as an access to this lot. And that's basically the whole layout. This is the frontage. This is where, and Ayer Solar 2, I've actually drawn it wrong, will be right in this area.
Yeah.
This is the power line. This is already
What's the
cleared.
total acreage involved?
I'll know better. You know off the top of your head,
Total acreage of
the lot
Yeah,
itself,
total too.
the whole,
the entire lot.
total acreage of all the lots is 34.4 acres. Total acreage of just the solar 2 is
And for the array, for the panel array?
something around 4 or 5.
4 or 5 acres?
5, 6 acres, yeah,
Okay.
something like that. And that'll be in this area here. So where we have, and what we're seeing up on the screen now,
I've got a hand one up in the back. If you're okay with being flexible, Cal. Question?
My question is to you,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. Chairman, I just, what are those lots that you're referencing, what are they zoned?
this is all zone residential.
A2, I believe.
Yeah, A2. It's the same as the zone line gets larger north of this in Madigan Lane. South of it is the same zones across the way.
Okay.
Okay. So shown in this plan, you can see where the actual,
Yep.
where the solar part is. It's a portion of that lot, maybe 60, well, it's actually probably not even that much because it comes down to here, but it's maybe 40% of that lot. You can see there's a wetland area coming up in here. We're staying away from that. The driveway runs along, coming all the way out.
The heavily shaded area because of elevation? or-
That's those are
Lines.
contour lines, the elevation, as you know, it's a tough entrance, it's
Yep,
gonna take
yep.
some, it's gonna
Okay.
cost some money, and it took some engineering to figure out how to do that. That, we are going conservation, we have walked this entire line with conservation up to about here,
Okay.
so we still need to,
You're aware we're a member of ACEC.
yep, ACEC and, yeah, that's it, ACEC.
Okay. Like, I think you got an uphill road, pardon the pun, but, you know.
Yeah, it's not an easy driveway, that's for sure,
Yeah.
coming in. And then this area here, as you can see, is the,
Okay. Did I see a hand go up in the back?
Well, just maybe a dumb question, but is a power plant permitted use in a
The
residential?
solar panels for
It's a power,
solar array.
it's a power plant.
If you've been to the one in Shirley along Lancaster
I've
Road?
seen it, it's a plant that produces power, it's a power plant.
it's covered under section 48, chapter 48, Mass General Law, section 3. The chairman referenced it earlier, there's a section of that basically treats solar generating facilities similar to what it does, the same exemption as it does for churches and for daycare centers, where basically it's allowed in any zone in your town unless, and here's where you want to think about it, unless the town has passed the zoning article to say where it can go, where it can't go. And if they pass regulations to regulate it, that's not considered unreasonable regulation.
Sounds
Right now, it means that it's allowed as of right.
It sounds similar to when we, implemented a cell phone tower.
Exactly.
bylaw.
It's not far from, yeah, except it's got probably a little more protection under the zoning. So it's basically saying it's a by right use anywhere in town unless you have a bylaw. And if you have a bylaw, it says your bylaw cannot unreasonably regulate or prohibit. So that means you can't require somebody to have a 100-foot fence around it, which would be unreasonable regulation. You can't prohibit it. And if your bylaw effectively makes it impossible to put it anywhere in town, that's considered prohibition as well. So if you say you can do it in the riverfront zone, and that's the only place you can put up a solar farm, but nobody else will let you build in the riverfront zone for conservation, that effectively prohibits it. So it says you can't do that, you can't unreasonably regulate it. What you can do is pass a bylaw, to zone, and say this is an allowed use in the industrial zone or in the commercial zone, it's not allowed in the residential zone. You can do that. You can also pass regulations on how you're gonna deal with the solar use. And you can't ask for it as a special permit, because in a special permit a special permit granting authority can effectively deny it. And that's not allowed under the state law. But what you can do is reasonable regulation would be considered site plan approval, where you look at its impact on the town and the abutters and what kind of access you have, what kind of frontage you have, and all those kind of things. And basically, that's what we're here doing tonight.
No, we're not.
So we are.
We're not doing that tonight.
Questions through the chair, if you would.
Absolutely.
We're doing that.
Mr. Chair, are we
We're doing
tonight?
that at the next hearing.
No.
at the public hearing.
No, he's discussing it.
Right.
We're discussing it tonight for your convenience. This is not part of the public hearing.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'm assuming we do not have a solar array bylaw.
No, we don't.
That's correct, not to my knowledge.
What does it take to get one?
Not
Town
much.
meeting. Effectively.
Planning
accepted by
board
town meeting.
is normally the proponent of bylaws, and we'd have to write one.
No, you don't.
Right now, it's again, as of right, for the landowner, within limitation.
There's a model bylaw on the website. It has been adopted by many towns in Massachusetts. It's
Right,
basically
right.
already written. With a small amount of work, could be turned into the
Right.
right kind of thing, and created a
It's
little.
it's certainly something, obviously, I think we're gonna consider as we go through our subdivision scrub, as I mentioned at the opening of the meeting. If we need one, we'll get one, and it sounds like we might need one.
To thank Mr. Goldsmith for
Den-
the explanation.
Den-
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, Dennis?
Yeah, this so-called driveway, so basically that would run through just off the backyards of probably half a dozen.
Well, this house, this house, this house.
All these guys are here.
All the way basically from Harvard Brook. Is that right?
Yeah, the driveway ends here, yeah. and then
Is that Old Ayer or is that,
So right,
that Old Ayer Road up there?
This is Washington.
Let's watch this for again.
so right smack off the backyards of a half a dozen houses.
Well, that's it, 3, yeah.
Well, it's more than
Yeah.
3.
Well,
There's at least four.
yeah, so if you count it as.
So if you counted that, that's me, but I look right down at it.
But it's a drive, we're talking about the driveway.
I know,
Well, the
So
so-called
what is that?
driveway.
I look right on the ground.
Yep.
Now, how wide would the driveway be?
What are we, 16 feet?
Longer,
16
wider.
feet. I think 16 feet.
Now, what would the traffic, how do you envision the traffic coming and going there?
Well,
On a regular basis.
once the solar arrays are constructed, there'll be usually a pickup truck once a month to go out there and check on things. Not even that much. That'd be a lot, maybe 2 or 3 times a year.
Nice.
That's it. That's all. It's a very low traffic use.
One more question, I think.
Yes, sir.
So that solar too, I think you said it's somewhere in the area of 5 acres?
I'm guessing, yeah, you've got to look at it, but
What's
5,
the-
6 acres.
And the other one would be, what, 35-ish solar?
No, the other ones, the actual solar arrays over there are maybe 8 acres.
Oh, dear. So why, just kind of confusing, why go to all of this trouble with the road and so forth for was a fairly puny solar farm compared to the other big mama across the way?
Well, it's not that much. It's, I mean, is this 650 maybe? You know?
It is smaller. It's about half the size.
About half the size, okay. So it's about half the size of what's across the street.
Half the size.
But we also have land here as well.
Wait, so- I'm sorry, you said the solar Solar 2 would be about 5 acres, thereabouts?
Yeah, I think so. I'm guessing. I mean, it might end up being 4 when we clear it.
So how would that equate to one half of what?
We have about half the number of panels as we do across the street, across the rail trail.
And it's 5 acres versus X, how many acres was the other one? Solar 1?
8 or 10, something like that.
Let me do this. One more question in the back.
Yeah, does this board have any authority to, potentially table any future solar commercial power plants until we do have a bylaw in place? I mean, it sounds like this is going to be the new...
The short answer is probably no. And again, knowing what we know about government, you might try to get an initiative toward a moratorium, but that would take Board of Selectmen action, and having been one, I rather doubt it would be successful.
I think it's important for the town boards.
Because you've got existing law on the book that says it's as of right, so.
This is going to be, removing an existing buffer we have to the power lines.
Yeah. It's obviously, again, it's very much worth looking into, and the planning board will look into it. And I see Robert making copious notes, so I think he's looking into it as well.
I just think it's the duty of any of the town boards to protect all the property owners,
Right.
including
Exactly.
the property owners for the solar array.
Exactly.
Which
Yeah.
begs the question, shouldn't we have a bylaw before any of these things move forward?
Yeah.
Mr. Jim,
Yeah.
I want to thank Mr. Goldsmith, but I do want to ask one question that I think is important. And that's, do you agree that that is location 439, where the panels are located? This is a discussion. Just me and you talking.
Yeah, I'd have to look at the assessor's map to make sure.
Well, I can show it on your plan for Friday.
And you might be correct.
Okay, so the other thing that's kind of important to me as a discussion is the parcels on the Riley Jane, including parcel 12-1, have gone through. This is why I'm really going to. They've been offered to the town has turned down their right of first offer.
That's correct.
This parcel I see as being parcel 439, 10.85 acres, has not gone through that process. Therefore, the town still maintains their right of first refusal. And that's really where I'm at, my whole thought process, just to let you know.
As far as 61A goes, you're kind of above my pay grade. I usually don't get involved in that. It's usually between the landowner and the town itself.
Okay, well, that's where I'm at. Because I believe this is an opportunity for the town to have a chance to buy that parcel, and that's the end of it. And the risk that these folks are taking is astronomical to me, to build that road, to put that. First of all, Mr. Madigan's a neighbor of mine. I looked at that drawing that you have, which is, I agree, not qualified for the submittal, lacks all the detail and everything else.
Yeah.
But there's an assumption that you're making on that drawing, I think, and we talked about this, and the reason I got involved with this because I was the one who asked you the question at the Conservation Commission when you brought up the topic of using half the Old Harbor Road for your construction, for your work. And I asked you the question, isn't that a big deal, a big trick here? So your proposal is not to use Old Harbor Road at all, that's out the window, but you're gonna create an easement that's wide enough to do that construction. That's basically what you're saying.
Yeah.
Through the two lots.
Yeah.
But the same assumption applies through your offsets to the wetlands. So all the work that you've done so far on ANRAD for lots 13-1 and 13-2, that's up.
No.
It's not up.
No.
Okay. So this doesn't alter.
No.
You're going to use that same work for.
Sure. Yeah. That's
okay,
that's
so
with
fine.
Conservation Commission.
Now, if you're building a road that's 18 feet wide, how wide or 16 feet, 15 feet, whatever you want to call it? How do you propose to do the grading, stockpiling, handling of the material? The first 500 feet is on Mr. Madigan's land, of 800 or 1,000 or something like that, before you get out to the. That's organic material. It's stone. It's ledge. Going to go for that? These guys are going to go for that?
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be a challenging construction. That piece of the driveway right there is
There's
the
no
most challenging
place to
construction.
stockpile material. I mean, all this will come up if they take it forward.
Well, we're going to be placing fill. We're not going to be stockpiling material, so we're not going to
You got
have.
to strip it. You got to stop it.
Yeah.
You got to land the trees on somebody's property.
Well, there's a few trees, not many, but they'll land on our property.
If you say, I got
I
no
mean, you're
picture.
cutting trees along the edge here, but those will be landing on our property. I mean, you're not wrong. It's not an easy driveway to build, but
It's not even close. It's so much organic material in there, the bulldozer will be going down 7 or 8 feet before he gets any kind of workable material that he can work on. That's how bad it is. And
well,
there's so many
if we
boulders.
find a situation like that in the field, then we're gonna be using geotechnical engineers to help us put something down that won't require a removal of all that.
Yeah, let me refocus here. Based on, again, what was mentioned earlier briefly and somewhat in depth recently, there are some major hurdles with Concom, given the wetlands, given the ACEC membership, and the reverberation of that, the 61A issues. And again, these are things that are beyond the planning board, but we know of them and we know there are major concerns. So I would need to wrap up, if you could, Cal. I think we got a good sense of what's going on here and what the obstacles are, both in pleasing the public, which is our main goal,
Yeah.
as to what we do in town, and of course you achieving your goal as a landowner. So further to any final questions? I do need to move on to other
Just one more.
business.
Sorry, I forgot this before. And thank you for the explanation of what's included in the as-right, solar portion. But I think that, isn't the term you used unreasonable? Isn't that part of the discussion, what's unreasonable?
And well,
When you said,
use the word unreasonable
in-
with regards to
in-
unreasonable regulation.
Unreasonable regulation, right. So wouldn't we consider reasonable regulation all the requirements of the planning board, including disruption of that much tree line within, virtually right on the property lines of the abutting owners? I would consider that reasonable oversight and not unreasonable.
You mean the prohibition of cutting trees on your property
That
next to the neighbors?
close, that tight, with virtually no setback to the road. According to what I saw, I'm using your perimeter drawing that shows the,
Well, I would respectfully disagree with you, but I'm sure we're gonna hash that out in the planning board.
so you don't think that's unreasonable? Do you think that's reasonable?
It's not ideal.
Okay, it's not ideal, that's for sure.
Yes, question in the back?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
you're using Old Harbor Road all the way through, right?
Old Harbor Road was discontinued in 1949.
Right, and when it was discontinued, the property line went back to the center of the road.
Property line, as it exists right now along the edge of the subdivision, is the center line.
I got 800 feet
of Old
along the
Harbor
road. So
Your 800 feet is part of your lot, right?
Yeah, so I go from the center of the road, right?
Nope, you go from the center of what was the road.
Yes, right.
There's a, I don't think I have it here, I think it's over here.
Well, again, I do have to move on to other business. Let me further state that I'm aware of, there may be some title issues too, as to land as the road proceeds, the left and right of this one, that one, and the other one.
I don't think there are, actually, to tell you the truth. We have a,
Well, let's move that on to April and May when you come in with a complete plan.
actually, the question's been raised, I'd like to answer it very briefly, if I could.
Okay, go ahead.
There's a plan on record, this plan you may have seen. It's on record, and the note at the bottom, and it shows this property line, which is the one we've used. And at the bottom it says, "The common property line as shown on this plan is recognized by us to be the division line between our properties," signed by George Moore, John Elides, and Barbara Elides, who were the landowners at that time. And basically what happened is when they discontinued this road, they drew a line down the center line. That is the property line of Madigan Lane. And we've confirmed that it's the property line that got used in the Madigan Lane subdivision.
Okay.
And so he's correct, he got half of the road, but that's already been incorporated in the subdivision as of 1980.
Okay.
And this was drawn and agreed to in 1972.
So the question's been resolved to you?
It's been resolved, it's on record, it's solid.
Okay.
So that
Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, I believe April and May, if, depending on how quickly the developer gets plans into us we can act on. I think if we get them by the 27th of March, Sandy.
We'll have them well before that.
Yeah. And if we don't, then it'll be in May. So again, more to come. I certainly thank you for coming. In closing, if I might, to the board, because we've been the silent ones. Any questions of the board? Go ahead.
27th of March is for the May meeting, not April.
Right, yeah, 27 March is for the May meeting, by the way, not April. So. Okay, well, on behalf of the planning board, I thank you all for coming, and stay tuned, Channel 8 and our website. And if you haven't already, please make sure you sign in. We want to make sure you get informed.
Mr. Chairman,
Going
what is the
forward.
submission deadline for the April meeting?
That just passed, didn't it, Sandy?
Yes.
April? Sandy?
Yes.
Yeah.
When was the April, I'm sorry?
It was the 27th of February, I believe.
Wait a minute.
I thought we had another week or so. I'll talk to this.
Yeah. Again, going forward, we're in the process of trying to notify all departments of anything that comes through us, so that expands the window a little bit, but it's for the good of all concerned. Thank you very much. To the agenda, I do believe we're on to Sue Kennedy, and certainly keep in mind, folks, you're welcome to stay to listen to our update from Planning Board member Sue Kennedy on marijuana update as to what we need to do as a town for preparation of same. You want to take a brief minute recess to?
Got stuff tonight. I sent out, I didn't see the text to the marijuana law in the packet. We had discussed about whether to put that in. So I'll just briefly go over what is already legal without our consideration as of December is possession of 1 ounce of marijuana.
Yep.
For an individual outside of their residence, 10 ounces inside their residence, up to 6 marijuana plants inside their residence must be grown inside and locked. What we already have in town is a medical marijuana facility, and my understanding of the way the law is written, towns have the ability to ban retail sales of recreational marijuana in their town, but my understanding is not if you already have a medical marijuana facility.
Mm-hmm.
And the language is kind of, I think the state is going to...
Yeah, let me pause a minute. Bill and Ken, if you could...
I'm sorry.
Only because of the feedback and the acoustics in the room.
Sorry.
So because we have the facility here, we don't have
Thank
the
you.
right to ban it, is basically.
I'm sorry, Sue, go ahead.
Yes. That's my understanding, that the language isn't terribly clear. I think I didn't print that part out. Let me see if I can quickly, I also left it. That's gotta be this part. Okay.
Jim, they're gonna hash it all out with us.
Did you come across anything that said it could be spot zoning?
No,
If we're not-
it has that same reasonableness clause.
Okay.
It says that we can limit it to 20% of the liquor licenses
Okay.
in the town.
From the planning perspective or from the licensure? Again, planning board wouldn't be the licensing authority, but.
It says that City Council of the City Board of Selectmen of a town shall, upon the filing of the city or town clerk of a petition signed by not fewer than 10% of the voters, this is the process to get on the ballot, which would ban it. Where
But
is
as
it?
far as zoning, are we talking about like 500 feet from schools and or
Yeah, probably a
Yeah,
small
you can
ballot
do all
first
that.
and
There's
then
going,
goes
there's
to
going to be a state cannabis control commission, which will give licenses upon approval of the local board. When they are going through their licensing process, part of that process is to send this application to the local town and have the local town
Right.
approve it.
Yeah, similar to the liquor control laws. But
Right.
again, I'm trying to focus on what does the planning board need to do, if anything?
What I think we should be doing, my recommendation, and particularly after this meeting tonight, is to get a sense of the town and
We don't
hold a
wanna-
public forum
Yeah.
and get some ideas. We could limit it, I believe, to the one medical marijuana facility that is.
Well, they can't be co-located, I know that. I mean, you can't sell at the same place that you're dispensing medical marijuana. There's a co-location clause.
Yeah.
But-
I'm having trouble, pulling it up right now.
Okay.
Well, some of these laws are going to change. There can be a 2% local tax.
Yeah, that again is selectmen business taxation.
And that could be being changed by the legislature. They could change some of these other
Yeah.
things. But I would just think it
But
would
that's probably the driving engine in my estimation so far.
be real wise to have a public forum and get input
Okay.
and check and see
Okay.
what the community is interested in doing.
Okay.
What
What I'd like to do then for maybe April or May is to focus on, if we could, where would we put it? That's, I mean, from a planning board perspective, because if we open up a public forum, those kinds of questions are gonna come up. Well, if we're gonna allow this, where are we gonna put it?
Yep.
And we can defer all of the licensure issues to the selectmen, but we have to be able to, as a board, say, okay, if it were ours to do, and it is, where would we want it and where would we not want it?
Well,
Right?
I'll say this again. The state hasn't said it's a can of Coke, or it's a pack of cigarettes,
Right.
or it's a bottle of booze.
Right.
They haven't made any of those
Yeah.
determinations.
Other than
can of
it's a
Coke, everybody
controlled
can have it.
substance, which it is.
There's some interesting questions. I read Groton's proposal, and one of the
I
things
mean,
they're
it's
suggesting
almost
is,
like a drugstore. You know, we allow a drugstore.
is that a retail
controlled substance.
sales place must be a nonprofit organization. And I was thinking,
No, there's already a guy in
you
Boston.
can't, if it's federally illegal, you can't
So
get
yeah.
federal nonprofit status,
Well,
right? So that's.
Yeah.
But I also spoke to people I know in Colorado who said the towns there that banned it
Yeah,
ended up with private clubs
Yes.
yeah.
where they have no control,
Yeah.
no tax,
Did
no
you
regulation.
did you see the guy in Boston that is charging outrageous amounts for a bottle of water, but he gives you a free marijuana?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So I think you're
Plastic bag.
better going with some
Buy
type
what's in the bag.
of control and regulation and get some tax
Yeah.
money in
Okay.
return instead of, and it went through the court system, and the courts can't do anything
Okay.
about private.
Right, right.
So they
And I think we're still 4 or 5 months away from any kind of state guidance on the matter.
exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
They
Well, we're working on it. That's
And the
important
other
thing.
interesting thing I saw, what Portland did too, that might involve the planning board, is they set up a marijuana advisory board, which had both the purposes of, well, answering questions. I'm surprised with, I've been asking, I've been asking people, you know, like what they think we ought to, you know, they'd like to see us do, and a lot of people don't know the state law was passed. They don't know. People who said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to grow," you know, I've got this big farm in my backyard. Well, you
Yeah,
have to grow
yeah.
it indoors,
Yeah.
and it has to be locked. But you know, and other people will be calling saying, "I saw my neighbor smoking pot," or you know, somebody smoking walking down the street, which they're not allowed to do. But also, so answering citizen questions, but also advising other boards and town committees with what's going on and what they might need to take a look at.
Good, good. Well,
And
keep up
I
the
think
good
that's
work.
a great
That's
idea with
really
something so new, and I don't know if that would be under purview of planning or separate ad hoc committee, but because stuff is going to come up and it's going to be confusing at first.
good. Yeah. Questions by the board on the matter?
I
Yeah.
would say we should, the town's gonna have enough mess going on, we need to concentrate on the zoning part of it.
Right. Oh, yeah, definitely, definitely, yeah.
And the other thing that I tried a bunch of different areas. I tried Colorado because it's had the longest. I spoke to some real estate agents and asked, what they thought of it. I spoke to 3 different real estate agents. All of them said the only problem they were having was illegal growing, which I think, again, is kind of hard to...
Which is already going on, but...
Well, they were suggesting that people were growing
and
and
you'd be
selling
fool
out
if
of
you didn't
state, and
think that was
because it's
true.
legal, cops aren't bothered to go into your house and count to see how many plants, and that people would rent a house, put in a sprinkler system, wreck the house, and they...
Oh, yeah.
I guess it really smells really bad.
I know that
pot
for
plants.
a fact, actually.
And that it can be a nuisance in the neighborhood, and that was illegal growing was there.
Yeah. You're laughing way too loud.
But that it really it is very strong and really can be a problem, the smell from somebody growing. So I don't know, or if you lived in an apartment and your neighbor was growing pot. It really, I went to the medical marijuana place down the street and talked to that guy, and as soon as you walk in, it's...
Yeah.
They called it skunk weed.
Yeah, and the restrictions from what I've read so far are ridiculous in that if you're going to grow it in your house, you have to have all kinds of equipment so that nobody can smell it. I don't know what it takes
Oh, is
to
that,
do that.
I didn't see that in the law. I saw that it had
Well,
a law.
Well, no, it's not a law.
And
You
can't
can make it so.
You do it so people don't know you're doing it.
Right. You make it so prohibitive that it's not worth doing. But,
Well, then they have the reasonable clause in state law, so that...
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. Good. All righty, well, on to, let's pay a bill. What do you think?
What do we have to do?
They're not coming.
Yeah, they're not coming. I'm sorry, you were out of the room.
They blew us off.
Tim Madigan called me today, and he said, does anybody have to show up? And I said, you don't have to, but you should in case there's discussion.
Well, I don't think it's appropriate to, without the applicant in the room.
Yeah. We told them, I told them that they needed to have a representative.
Which
at
one
the
did we-
meeting, or while they were applying.
Snake Hill, Littleton Road.
Yeah, but the
they-
thing is
they have to have
is it
somebody
an
in case-
A&R though?
Yeah.
Oh, it still moves forward if it's an A&R.
Yeah.
They put us on notice, and if this is what happened with Tom Gibbons, that ended up going through by default because no one showed up and we didn't act, and I have an extra house
Well,
lot in my neighborhood.
did you call them and tell them that?
A&Rs don't stop rolling.
Well, I talked to them and told them that they had to have it.
But that's when that
They had to
application.
have
And
somebody
then
in
I
the
told
room?
them that again today on the telephone. What is it?
Well, let me do this, rather
The
than,
engineer?
because of the
What was
past
it,
practice,
files?
if you will, I'll defer to the board. If it's your will to act on this, I will certainly,
Well, I spoke to Tim.
just that if there was any question, and something that nobody's here to answer the question, then
That's fine.
Yeah, it's just that we have
If a
21
que-
days, or
Yeah.
after 21 days, it's
If
by
a question
default.
comes up, then that's a whole different issue.
Okay,
But
all right, well,
Jeff
let's,
just-
Yeah, I
Jeff
think
just
that was
asked
one
me-
issue, yeah.
Jeff just asked me about the one lot with only 82 feet in it,
right,
frontage, but if you see there's a right-of-way,
Mark pointed out there's a 20-foot
this right-of-way right here,
access and utility
Yeah.
easement.
and that's 20 feet at the top.
that makes it 102.
Right.
Yeah.
What this property was going to be the septic system for Shaker Hills when it was going to get turned into a 150 lot subdivision.
Okay,
So that's how this was
devised.
So obviously there's no subdivision, so Tim's cut it up and selling it off.
Okay.
So that easement
Okay, so-
will go away.
Public way is there and
In each one of them?
access,
Plenty of
is
frontage.
adequate, frontage is there. Questions then if,
How many acreages is it?
Well,
I
it's,
could add it up. It's actually, is lot one's 42,000 feet, call it 0.9, it's right here, 0.98, 0.75, 0.73. I can't do it in my head.
About 2 acres?
No, one that, 0.8, 1.4,
Well, the only reason why I say if it's
2.1.
more than 5 acres, it has to go to
2.8.
conservation. If it's under 5 acres,
So it's,
even if it's an A and R or
2.8,
subdivision.
3.5, 4.25. Yeah, it's real close to 5. Let me add it up.
That's the only thing that could give us a leeway there, is that it's 5 acres or more, so it would just protect us to
Let me
wait
add
till
that
next
back
month
again, I give it
if
back
we
to
make
you,
that
yeah.
finding.
I'm just adding up the acres. Mr.
Little
Chair.
Road.
Ready? I'll read them off to you.
Yeah. Yes, 0.9, start on the left, yeah. 0.98, yep.
And maybe I should. 0.98.
Yep.
0.75.
Yep.
0.73.
Hold on a second, that's... .73, yep.
0.72.
Mm-hmm.
0.70.
Pretty sure I give it.
0.63. 0.5.
Yep.
0.39. I thought it had to be half.
5.4 acres.
All right, I got one.
So
Has to be minimum
technically, we could
12,000
say
square foot, I believe.
we can push it off to conservation
Here are the
because it's
things.
it's affecting 5 acres and more.
Well, I would...
Minimum area 12,000.
Yeah, minimum area 12. So it's 5.4 acres, given the numbers on here.
But if we don't
That's
have any
correct.
objection to it, I mean,
Yeah.
it's one of those things. I mean,
Why does it have to go to conservation?
it's just because it's 5 acres or more.
Any 5 acre or more subdivision?
Then it walks and talks like a subdivision, even though it's technically an A&R.
Yeah.
It's now a subdivision because it's affected under, it's a CMR 10 something, whatever.
Even if you drop the lot at the end off, it would still be over 5. It is, I mean,
We learned that one on the Fletcher, Pleasant Street.
Oh, yeah.
It was more than 5 acres and
let me ask Jen a
6
question,
lots.
because having not walked this property, but knowing it, because I ride around it a lot, it's
Well,
a very,
you've
very
got,
wet property. You want to go to conservation because it's in a wetland?
You got a comment from the police chief too, as far as line of sight speeds on that particular stretch of road. But isn't the setback from the road?
Tim told me today he's got all the approvals from the state for the curb cuts for the driveways.
Okay.
Whether line of sight has anything to do with any of those, I don't know. But I wouldn't have thought the state would have given them.
Did conservation,
Yeah, because everybody else is saying okay as far as the.
No, no. I mean, Board of Health says, doesn't specify town water or sewer. Assessor says nothing.
It does have town water and sewer.
Yeah, it's plan does not specify it.
Oh.
Whether it has town water or sewer or not, the plan doesn't specify it. Fire department approved. Police, I have a concern with the Littleton speeds. Yep, individual line of sight.
yeah, I don't see conservation. I'm missing it.
Tax collector, nothing. DPW, verbal by Mark. And Mark sent in something, and
Unless I'm looking at the wrong one. No, it's Snake Hill Road.
They apparently have contacted Mark on.
and they've received plans showing water sewer. So Mark's got that. Yeah.
Jen, don't confuse Snake Hill Road with
Oh, no,
Avery Hill.
No, I'm not. I was just looking to making sure that the comment sheets that I was looking at were in fact.
There's no conservation commission in here that I see.
You don't see it either. Okay. All I know is that it is going to be subject to a CMR, and I don't know if that's technically enough reason for us to deem this a subdivision plan and not an A&R because it's 5 acres or more. We can look into it. But I mean, if all of the lots are fine,
Which gal?
I mean, I don't know,
The one with the degree.
because that's really all we look at is the box.
It's gonna go through.
Here's conservation here. There's at least one open order of conditions on this property. The open OOCs would impact the new parcels. The compliance would be required prior to any sale. Also, the guardrail on the road impedes access.
The guardrail what?
Impedes access, so
Okay.
they'll need.
And that's coming from the Conservation Commission?
Well, he just noticed that as he was.
Okay.
It was just an FYI.
Does he say what the open order condition is?
No, he doesn't.
I didn't notice any guardrail on that. Is there a guardrail on that stretch of road?
Yeah, you know where the
This is
Snake Hill Road on the left is?
Is this the old Snake Hill Road?
Yes.
That was
If
removed.
you're coming out of Shaker Hills,
Okay.
the
Yeah.
golf course.
Oh, okay,
Coming
okay.
down the hill,
Okay.
where that double stop sign is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you went straight,
You'd get wet and be on the road.
but you'd be on Snake Hill Road.
You'd be in with the turtles.
Yeah, yeah. All right, well, again, I defer to the will of the board. I'll entertain a motion if one makes it.
I would make a motion to accept, accept unless conservation has authority. I don't, according to Jim, it has to go to conservation.
Well, I guess my thing is it does involve 5 acres or more, so CMR is definitely triggered here.
Yeah, yeah.
If that buys us some time to get the applicant in here, but
Well, there it is. Then again, I'd have to say yes, because we have a question that we can't answer because there's no applicant in the room.
Yeah, and I'd also like to clear up from the applicant whether or not the center lot 4, the frontage he's showing on this drawing is 82.46 feet.
Yeah.
It looks like it comes up shy of the lot line
Yeah.
with lot 3, and it's just hard to tell.
Yeah, is that separate from that easement there?
Yeah. Is the easement going to go away? The utility access and the 20-foot access and utility easement is going to go away, at which point it does become a legal frontage lot.
Right.
The last thing I would do is jam the guy up by approving something he's not
No,
going to
I
use.
mean, you know,
Well,
I think Kerry, the conversation was Kerry Curley said, look, I'm only the real estate agent, I can't speak for it, and the applicant couldn't be here, so it's got to move to April.
I was just gonna say, why don't we just, I would think typically on this sort of a thing, if we ask the applicant, if he was here, can we move this to next month and get these issues
he has
cleared?
no way of
You'd say
getting a
absolutely.
hold of him right now at all.
I can try.
Yeah, I would feel better than that, because I know if we walk out of here tonight and we haven't rendered a decision that says this
Right.
does in fact require subdivision approval because it affects 5
Right.
acres or more,
acres.
and then just reference CMR, even
Yeah.
though I don't know the specific.
Yeah.
It's easy to trigger. Actually, you'll find it in a letter of concern under the Fletcher subdivision. You'll find a letter in there. I believe it was written by Mark Nelson. So, and it will reflect that, and that'll give us standing just by time.
5.4 issue, we got a 5-acre issue.
It's 5 acres or more, so to me, it's a subdivision. It's not an
Well, we can
A&R.
also do the man a favor by not jamming. You know,
Okay.
it goes to
Even if we deny it, he could still come back in with another plan and shave off. We're not.
We can move it to next month.
Okay.
And have somebody here.
Let the minutes reflect Sue had an earlier commitment, she had to leave, which she did. I'd like to move on while Mark is doing that to a
It's gonna go to
zoning,
We don't have much time.
Jim,
We
it's
have
go-
20 days from this.
so I'll just tell him it's going
You've
to
got to get a decision in there. If he doesn't grant the extension, then you got to.
Hey, Tim, Mark,
20
the planning board,
days.
turns out.
It's 20
I do
days from
wish
the
you were
date
here.
that this is when you
There's
have to
one
file
lot
a
with only
decision
82
whether you
feet
deny
that
it or
has
not.
the easement. I
Or you
assume
make the
that's the
finding
sewer
that it does
easement,
require subdivision.
and that's gonna go away
Otherwise,
and
it's
to the
deemed
20 feet. And the other thing is, there's,
how A&Rs
it's
work.
over 5 acres, so it triggers a CMR for the
But this
Conservation
is
Commission.
when the
And
zoning
per the notes.
was,
the
this is
Conservation
when the
Commission
zoning
says
was.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. When was
order of-
when was the
order of
application filed, the
conditions.
A&R?
So these need to be
For-
addressed. We're going to put you on the event agenda for next month. Give me a call tomorrow if there's any questions.
Was it filed with you or with the town clerk?
It's amazing how small towns
Well,
are.
they filed it with me and then I stamped it over.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
You went down to 9%.
Yeah, it is.
I think you're asking me to approve this budget report?
No, it was just FYI.
No, it's
I thought you had a bill to pay.
No, oh.
No,
What's in your
we have no
folder?
bills to pay.
Janice for That was in your folder. JNS for Sue's name plaque.
I did not, let me look a little further.
It was on like that letterhead with green and blue.
Still looking.
I'm gonna do some homework. You know what I mean? Just saying.
I spend more time walking that land looking for
If,
owls, salamanders,
Yeah.
spotted frogs.
Because we do this,
I
do
hate
we,
I hated driving. Rockford Harbor the other day, looking to my left and seeing all the way past.
Okay, as previously stated,
Washington Street.
Snake Hill will go on for April,
Wait a second, what?
okay,
Go past.
based on the two
Done.
questions.
okay.
Yeah.
Hit below
Now,
part there on
the
Washington Street.
21
Go to your left. You can see an
days.
orange.
Yeah, see, Jim, I just want to make sure you understand, if you put it on the
That's almost all the way
April
out.
agenda,
On the other side of Air One.
they're gonna come in and they're gonna say it's approved, no review.
It's what?
They're gonna tell us it's approved, no review. We're here by the graces, our good graces to be here before you.
It's dated the
That's-
17th of February.
So when is the 21 days from there? It'll pass by April. But we've got to file a decision either way on that. That's all I'm trying to say, is that we've got to be more careful about that.
Here, Jeff.
Because Tom Gibbons, the attorney, represented a lot up in the applicant didn't show up. We chose not to take
Based on the
action.
plan presented, we would have to disapprove based on lack of adequate frontage. Because that seems to be the question that is.
In the 5 acres or more. Yeah. That's what I think we should do to protect ourselves.
Actually, that,
Okay, let me read
And
the
there's
record.
nothing to say he can't refile and come back in, you know.
the day before the 6th.
Current advice from the vice chair is that we disapprove based on lack of adequate frontage according to the plan presented and/or the requirement of a CMR based on 5 acres or more.
Okay.
And then we file it as a disapproval, he reapplies when things get corrected.
I mean, the plan's already done. He can
That way
resubmit
you
the
don't-
plan in the new
you don't
application.
end up with a constructive approval.
Yes. So basically what you're saying is we.
Can he come back in
Yeah.
in April?
Right.
Okay.
It's okay.
And we'll do it again if he
Yeah.
doesn't come in with it. I mean,
And it gets back to my point.
yeah,
Okay,
Do the guy a favor, make it right so he's not fighting it down the road.
right.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready to get this
I told him when I talked to
motion?
him this afternoon,
So,
I
yeah.
said,
I need-
it's better if somebody's
It'll take
there
care
to
of it.
answer questions.
Okay. I need a motion that the A&R for Littleton Road as presented
I think it's Bill.
per the 8 lots
Court.
from Mill Corporation is hereby disapproved based on an apparent lack of adequate frontage according to the plan presented.
For lot 4, if I may.
Yep, for lot
For
4. And an indication of CMR requirement based on 5 acres or more
Falling under subdivision control laws.
under the subdivision control law.
No, wait a minute. For lack of frontage on lot 4, then,
And also triggering a CMR because it's over 5 acres. And I also noted there's an open order of conditions from the Conservation Commission. So moved.
Second.
Yeah, get the open order of conditions also from
Now your phone's gonna ring.
And who seconded?
I did second.
Okay, Jeff seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Vote 4 in favor. Sue is obviously not here.
And again, there's nothing to prevent
Yeah,
him
no,
from
that's,
filing again. It just protects us.
It's the right thing to do. Okay.
All right, so, but make sure we put them on the agenda for next month.
yep. so-
Yep. Okay, we have a bill to pay. It does turn out for $25 based on custom nameplates. Thank you very much. Need a motion to approve payment of invoice 61171
So moved.
dated 1/18/2017 for an amount not to exceed $25,
Moved.
Second.
payable to J&S Business Products, Inc. And you moved, Mark moved, and
I'll
Jeff
second.
seconded.
Yep.
Okay. I think minimum of 3 signatures, but let's have everybody sign just to, I should have put
Are we
in a
all in
signature
favor?
by the
All in
chair.
favor?
Are we all in favor?
If it's moved and
Are
seconded.
we all in favor?
In favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Did I cover that? Did I skip over
No,
that?
we moved and seconded, and you forgot to say.
Jim wants to go home.
You should have said.
Well, that session ran a little bit longer than I wanted, but anyway.
Hey, 7:30.
Okay.
Bonnie gets home at 10:30. She walked out of meetings.
Next working group meeting, we said to be determined at this meeting, so let's see, where are we? We're at March 2nd. I'm
For that
in
8:00
Florida, by
session,
the way.
This is what they were
I
trying
won't
to.
say when.
Is really he should have dropped that.
I won't let that to go out over the TV.
Helps us build a file
Just
too
a
for
note
future.
to put in the back of your head, just in case I'm not here for the May meeting,
Okay,
so make sure if you need a quorum, there is a quorum, if Calvin's coming in or whatever.
okay.
Or maybe you don't want a quorum.
You got that, Sandy?
May meeting,
Yeah, I assume it's on May 4th, right?
yes,
I will be in Florida.
unless we
No.
move it.
I will, well, that's up to you. I'll be.
What?
It's up to you.
Alabama.
What's
And
that?
you, and you.
Number 2.
Unless we move the meeting, can we move?
Well,
it to-
we'll talk about it. It's a little ways off yet.
Okay.
Yeah, this-
So,
Normally, we like to stick with the first week of the month.
what?
Move it to Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
yeah,
gets
we could go to
it gets sticky
Colorado
trying
and
to
check
find
out the
dates.
marijuana over there.
No.
Okay, move Mark absent
So-
on May.
Are we on for a meeting already for March 9th? Why does March 9th stick in my mind?
For the working group,
Yeah.
that's what I wanted, because we were canceled on the last one
Right.
because of the weather.
Is-
We need to
what
firm
is-
that up.
Who's got a calendar in front of them, Jeff? March 9th?
That's the second week, then that's what we've been doing.
We are jumping into.
What day of the week? Is that on a Thursday?
Yep.
Okay,
That's next Thursday,
next Thursday.
week
So-
from tonight. I can't make
You what?
it. I can't make it.
Okay. Can you make it, Jeff, March 9th?
I could make.
Jim?
At this point, that one says the 9th is good.
It's just a week from Thursday.
Yeah.
Next
A
Thursday.
week from today,
Um,
which is also a week
6
from
o'clock.
Thursday if you really want to.
I think we can wrap up the operations
I'm
manual
tired.
In one meeting next week, is my feeling. And that would be good. And we could move on to subdivision.
yeah.
So March 9th then, Sandy, for, and
6
we'll get
o'clock.
that posted.
Mr. Chair.
Yep.
I was a great proponent for moving our meetings to 6 p.m.
Right,
because they go late.
right,
I'm finding that 6 p.m. is a challenge.
okay,
6:15 would work really well, just because traffic has gotten so much worse.
okay.
I come from inside 128.
How
most
is
evenings.
it from Carlisle?
It's fine. I'm fine with 6:15.
Yeah, it's just that would take the pressure off of you being able to start a meeting on time. Because if we're gonna have the next couple meetings like this, I don't want.
Right.
Yeah, and the
You're
earlier the
running in
public,
at the
the,
last
the
minute.
earlier
I know
the
you're
public
jammed
hearing
up on
on the
Thursday
agenda, I
nights
think
too
is
sometimes,
better
aren't you?
because
I'm
Yeah.
supposed to be working.
Yep,
You
yep.
are working. You're working hard.
Yep.
But
If I was you, I would tell me that it's still at 6 o'clock, and that way when
Can I
I'm late,
find
I'm
that
actually gonna
CMR?
be early.
yeah, I just noticed because today was
Yeah.
an odd
Well, we
day.
used to do them
My-
at 7, I know
Yeah.
that.
No, my 3:30 meeting in Needham
I'm
never
perfectly
showed up.
happy, the earlier the better, I don't want to get
Yeah,
done again
yeah.
at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
No, but just that extra
Okay.
5 to 10 minutes
6:15,
would be.
Sandy? Yeah.
I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll still have it on for 6 o'clock, but it's like
Yeah, no, it doesn't bode
I-
well to,
I'm gonna get picked off coming down Central Ave.
yeah, yeah, okay.
Trying to make it.
All right, so next meeting is March 9th at 6:15. Okay, good.
And that's,
All right, we're about to make Mark's
that's the
favorite
working
motion.
group?
To adjourn?
What?
That's the working group, March?
Right, March 9th, 6:15.
Okay, good.
Okay?
Yes.
Anything further?
If I can make it, I will, but I'll put it on my calendar. But
Okay, good.
one
Yeah,
of the guys
as
might
always.
swap off.
I get a sense we're gonna start getting busier, but anyway.
Motion to adjourn?
Okay?
So moved. Or seconded, sorry, yeah. I'm sorry.
sorry.
My
We're
Board of
adjourned.
Selectmen's
Okay.
meeting the other night went
All
to
in
like
favor?
midnight, so.
Aye. Opposed? None? Unanimous.